Okay, so a very good evening, guys. Can you all let me know if you all can hear me and see a screen? Yes, can see a screen? Right, nice. So today, guys, is our second day of our economics class. Just to give you all a bit of a brief in case you all missed, or if this is the first class that you are joining. So just a bit of context, Lamai. What we have here is an online economics class for A levels. Last week, we started our first class. Some of you all would have been there. Some of you all would have watched the recording of that class and caught it up. Today is our second class. Now, the good news about today's class is, Lamai, it is not connected to what we did the last class. I'll give you all a small summary as well of what we did, but it's not connected to what we did. So because of that, because it's not connected to what we did last class, the good news is, Lamai, you will, even if you missed the last class, even if you were not there, even this was the first day that you're joining, you will still perfectly understand. Yes, in case if you feel my volume is a little lower on your end, what I will recommend is, Lamai, see if you can get an earphone. Maybe sometimes if you're watching it on your phone or maybe on your laptop, if sometimes the background noise is a little too high or sometimes, the speakers and stuff don't work very well, uh, getting an earphone can actually help for you to, focus and stay away from all the distractions that is happening around. On my end, I think my mic should be working. It should be pretty okay and you all should be able to hear. Okay, right. Now, in terms of tutes, Lamai, most of you all have got your tute. During the last week, Lamai, the courier has not been working fully because there were holidays, no, Lamai. Saturday, Sunday is a weekend. And then Monday and Tuesday were Vesak Poya days. So because of all of that long holidays, the courier has not been working. So there was no way that I could have sent the tutes. So some of the tutes I have packed it and it is going out today. So that means the students, I think, who fill the registration form, I think in the last 5, 6 days, okay, maybe from last Thursday to until around today, those who have filled the form, your tutes will go out probably today, tomorrow, by those days. That means in another 3, 4 days, you should get your tutes. That's why there has been a delay because the courier has not been operating. I can't come to your house and give you the tute and go. No. So you all will get it soon. But what I will do on my end is, until you all get the tute, now there is this PDF that I write on the screen. I will share that PDF on the group. So then, even if you don't have the tute, you still can, go through that PDF. You can, read, try and understand, refresh your memory and get that done. Okay, to start things off, how many of you, Lamai, from last class to today's class, took at least around a 15 minutes to go through what we did last time? Yes. Can you let me know on the chat box? Did you? Took around, I don't want a lot of time, right? But at least around maybe a 15 minutes to go through what we did the last time. Maybe even you can even go through it much faster. You don't really need 15 minutes. But okay. So what I will want as a practice from you all going forward, not just for econ, for all your other subjects. Okay. Whatever other subjects that you're doing, maybe school, maybe class. What I want you all to do is, Lamai, always, right? Just have this. I'll give you a few tips along the way, few tips that will help you get a very good island rank, a very good district rank. So one thing that I want you all to do is, usually once, now, first thing I think I told you all last time, when a teacher is teaching for the very first time, give your fullest attention and listen and put that into your head. That way, Lama, you save a lot of time, later studying it and all of that. Because when the teacher was teaching, you were listening, you put it into your head. So now you can study it much faster. That was the first thing I told you all that last week. The second thing that I'm telling you is, especially in terms of classes. Now, classes happen once a week. Now, in school, now, today you do it again, tomorrow you will do. But classes, it happens once a week. So the probability of, things getting a little lost, or the probability of you starting to forget things is a little bit more high. So what I want you to do is, as a practice, okay, within the week, find around 15 minutes. Maybe we can start with 15 minutes. Don't need a big time. Maybe half an hour also if you can. Take around 15 to 30 minutes to go through what we have done before and come, Laman. So then before today's class, I think last week we did the first 3 pages of the tute. You could have taken around. Now, when I say go through Lama, don't memorize or anything. Just read it. Just read it, refresh your memory. Ah, this is what sir said. Put that into your head and come back. That means next week, what you can do is go through what we did in the first 2 weeks. Just quickly read and come. So have that as a practice going forward until A levels. The biggest thing in A levels, Lamai, of getting it done right is staying on track. You should know, okay, this is what sir is doing this week. Okay, this is what he has done. This is what is happening. If you're on track, then things go very smoothly, Lamai. But what happens is some of y'all, one day y'all come to class. Another 2 weeks, you go missing. After that, you decide, I will come. Another 1 month, you go missing. Then you come again. It doesn't work like that, Lamai. Stay on track. All 3 subjects, whatever classes, whatever that's happening in school, you should know. You might miss a class, Lamai. That's okay. And I told you, all the recordings I will give you. You can always catch up. Missing a class is okay. But you should know, all right, I missed this class. Okay, let me quickly watch the recording. How many of you all did that, Lamai? You were not there last Wednesday, but I sent the recording on the group multiple times, a YouTube link. You at least watched that and came. Yes. That's okay, right? Maybe you were, life happens, Lamai. Different people have different things happening in life. That's all right. Okay, I totally understand. As much as possible, try to come to the live class. But you need to have that discipline, Lamai. Even if I miss the live class, I will watch the recording, I will figure this out, and I will come. Okay, that has to happen on your end. Get the group link, Lamai. You can drop me a text after class. I will send you I'll send you all the details. Okay, so have that as a practice going forward. So today, guys, I have an area that I want to do. Once that area is done, I have a quiz as well, like last time. So once the area is done, we'll do a couple of past paper questions. We'll see if you can handle that area. And then we'll do a small quiz and we can finish off the class. Let me share my screen. Now, for the ones who don't have the Tutlama, don't worry. You can look at the screen for now, make notes if you have a full scap or something. The PDF that I write over here, I will share it on the group, maybe by tonight, because right after your class, I have another class. Maybe not right after, but I will get that done. In this quiz, will the last times ones comes? A bit of last times one will also be there. Okay. The class Lama usually will go until around 6, but if I have a small part more to finish, then it might go a little past 6. If I can finish the part before 6, then I will finish. Okay, so I'll let you know what part I have in mind that I want to get done today. Yeah. In terms of a book, Lama, you all don't have to have a book. You will get the tute. You can make notes in the tute itself. You don't have to have a separate CR book or anything, not needed. What you can do instead is, Lama, if you all can, get a couple of highlighters, any colors that you all like, maybe 2-3 highlighters, and get a few sticky notes if you can. If you can't get sticky notes, at least have a few A4 papers that you can, make small, colorful notes and you can paste. You don't have to have a separate book. The tute has everything that you have to learn. Maybe for accounting and all, you will have to have a book. For econ, you don't need a book. Okay, so a few highlighters. If you can have a few color pens, nice. A few sticky notes, perfect. Now, don't go and trouble your parents to buy all of that. If you have some pocket money, buy on your own. Otherwise, manage with what you have, Laman. If you all can afford it, that's fine. But don't go and say, Arshads are told to buy 10 color pens, 5 highlighters, and all of this, and get all of that. Okay. For those, Lamai, for those who have questions, now some of you all have not got the tute and all, not in the group. I'll send you my number on the chat box. Just note it down. Drop me a text and keep. Don't say hi, Lamai, when you all are dropping a text. Product send all the details at once. And that's another thing that I want to teach you all. When you all send a message to someone, especially someone unknown, Lamai, send all the details in one message, Lamai. Now, I'll just tell you how some conversations work. Okay, I sometimes get a message. Now, I get so many messages on WhatsApp. Sometimes I get a message from a student saying hi. Okay, now, then next day I reply saying, hi, how can I help you? Then the person replies 2 days later, sir, I want to join your class. Now what happens? Now I don't know which class this fellow wants to join. Then I ask him, okay, which class do you want to join? Which batch are you from? Which class do you want to join? I ask that. Okay. And then, to get that small piece of information, Lamai, around 4-5 days goes to get a small thing sorted. So when you all are texting someone, Now I send all your details at once, not just for class related ones. Send, for example, if you want to join the class group or if you want something, what you can do is Lamai, send a message, say, hi, my name is this one. I joined your 2027 class, sir. Can you please add me to the group? Or can you do this? Can you do that? Send everything in one message so that, next message, I read it, I can sort it. Some of you all send hi. Next day I reply, right? It takes around 5 days. That doesn't have to happen that way. Okay. Give me a second. Hold on. Guys, give me 1 second. I think the courier has come to collect some tutes. I'll quickly hand those tutes over to the courier and come. Until that, what I want you to do is, can you quickly skim through this page? The page that I'm going to do right now, I'll turn it this way so that for the people who don't have the tute, you can also read. Okay, the ones who have the tute, you can read on the tute. The ones who don't have it, can you quickly read this? I'll give you 2 minutes. Read this and come. I'll quickly give the parcels and come. Okay. So today, guys, in terms of what I want to do, okay, I want to finish this basic area on needs and wants, and I want to finish until the end of page number 7. That is my target for today. But sometimes if I think this is a little too much, then I might, stop without maybe doing a little bit. But if I can finish this, I think we are perfect for today. That's the target. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, until the end of page 7. That is this whole story of scarcity and all of that. Let's start with Lamai, a very basic concept. That is needs and wants. I will not spend a lot of time because I know you all know this. I don't have to teach you all needs and wants, and I don't like teaching these very basic, Baba type concepts, Lamai. I usually am not a big fan of. So we'll start with this. We'll start with page number 4. If you all have the tube, go into page number 4. We are in this section called needs and wants. Now, what are needs, Lamai? We say needs are the basic requirements, or the necessities that you need for survival. The basic things that you need to survive is what we call needs. Yes, we do have WhatsApp group, Lamai. I sent my number on the chat box. You can join that. You can send me a message. I will add you to the group. Okay. Needs are the basic requirements that you need for survival. Then what are wants? Wants are the various different ways that you can satisfy your needs. So if I'm to take an example, all of us, we have the need for food. All of us need food. We need food for survival. But while there is a need for food, different people, now, for example, how you satisfy your need for food can be different from how I satisfy my need for food. Now, for example, I had rice for lunch. Maybe you all would have been a bit more posher people who would have had pizza for lunch. So the different ways that this need is satisfied is what you call, Lama, your wants. So here, the various forms of fulfilling your needs are called wants. Now, I know, Lama, you all know this in the, I'm quickly going up. I'm not spending too much of time. You all know needs and wants. Needs are the basic necessities for survival. What are wants? The different ways that you can satisfy your needs. So if you have the need for food, how can you satisfy that need for food? Getting rice, bread, pizza, string hoppers, burgers, anything, right? All of that are what we call wants. Now, I want you all want some help, Lamai. Can you all tell me? We'll try to differentiate between these needs and wants. Lamai, are needs limited or unlimited? Needs are limited, right? We know. Good. How about wants? Wants are human wants. Human wants are unlimited. Perfect. Lamai, does your needs differ from person to person? Your needs and my needs, are they different? Does it differ from person to person? No. Right. Needs are common to everyone. What about wants, Lamai? Do wants differ from person to person? Wants do differ from person to person, right? So you all have a basic, looking at the answers I'm getting on the chat box, looks like you all perfectly know what this is. So let's quickly go through, Lamai. Here I'm saying needs are limited and wants are unlimited. Done. Then here we say, although needs do not change with time, wants change with it. Now, even Lama, if you take needs, even a small kid, or let's say a 30-year-old or a 50-year-old, have the same needs. Or even if you take, let's say, 100 years ago, the need for food, the need for clothing, the need for shelter, let's say having a house to live, those were always there, Lamai. But if you take wants, they change with time to time. Now, if you ask a small kid what they want to eat, and if you ask someone who is, let's say, 10 years later, you ask that person what you want it, now they'll say something else. So wants change with time, but needs don't. And then we say needs are common to all and wants differ from person to person. So based on Lamai, based on your age, based on your gender, based on where you live, your location, right? All of it, your wants change, Lamai. Based on your religious belief, your want can change. So wants are different from person, but yeah, maybe something like entertainment could be a want, I would feel, instead of a need. Okay, right. Now we know the basics. We know how that is. And then, Lamai, do you all remember last class I gave you all a small story about? I said, Lamai, these needs and wants can be classified as physical wants and mental wants. Physical needs or needs and wants both put together. Physical and mental. Can you tell me, Lamai, what was the difference here? What were physical needs and wants? Needs and wants that could be fulfilled by what? Physical needs and wants. We learned it last class. That could be fulfilled by the consumption of a good or service. Ne? By consuming good or service, and you can fulfill those physical needs and wants. What about mental needs and wants? Can you fulfill those directly by consuming good or service? Let's say something like now mental needs and wants, something like feeling loved, feeling respected, feeling, valued. Can you get something like that, Lamai? Can you get that? You can't, no? So those kind of things, under. You can't get it through a good or service. That has to Lamai mutually come. Now in economics, which one of this do we focus on? Do we focus on how people satisfy their physical needs and wants, or do we focus on how people satisfy their mental needs and wants? Which one do we talk about? We talk about the material, the physical needs and wants. And that is what we spoke about. So economics pays attention only to material wants. Material wants can Lamai, another name is physical wants. So physical needs and wants is what we focus on. Good. Most of you all remember the story. Then Lamai, I have given a small picture that I've got from the internet. The difference between needs, wants, and demand. Now, demand is Lamai something we will learn in unit number 2. So don't worry too much about it now. But will this thing? I'll in simple terms, Lamai, I'll give you an example of a difference between. Now, you all know difference between needs and wants. Needs are the basic necessities for survival. Wants are the different ways you can fulfill your needs. Then Lamai, I'll just give you a little bit of context. We'll learn demand in unit number 2. Unit number 2, Lamai, 50% of unit number 2 is about demand. In another 2 months, we'll come to that. Then before that, I'll just give you this thing. Yeah. Lamai, demand is the amount of units that a consumer is willing to buy at various different prices. Right? We'll learn that in unit 2. But I'll just give you the difference. Lamai, now, let's say I would love to have, let's say, a Lamborghini, right? One of the racing cars, a super racing car. I want to have a Lamborghini. Okay, I like to have it, right? I want to have it. But just because I want to have it, do you think, Lamai, there will be a demand for Lamborghini cars? What do you all think? I would love to have a Lamborghini. I would love to, race around the whole city of Colombo with my Lamborghini, do all of that. No. For a want to be converted to demand, yeah, there are few things. For a want to be converted to demand, Lamai, there are few things that has to be there. One is, Lamai, you need to have the money, no man. Now, I would love to have a Lamborghini, but do you think I have the money to buy a Lamborghini? No, I'm not that rich as you think. Right? So, one, you need to have, Lamai, the purchasing power. Purchasing power means, in simple terms, you need to have the money. Right? Number 2, Lamai, you have to be willing to, right? You have to be willing to buy it. Now, for example, I'll give you, right? Demand, Lamai, we learn unit number 2. Don't worry too much about it. Now, will talk about, let's say, Lamai, something like, okay, let's say the latest iPhone. Now, the latest iPhone came. The iPhone 16, let's say iPhone 16 Pro Max, 1 TB storage. That's the best that you have right now in terms of iPhones. Let's say, Lamai, the price of this is 600,000. Let's say, Lamai, I have the money to buy this. I have 600,000. But I am not willing to spend that much. Yes, I have the purchasing power. I have 600,000. I like the iPhone. Nice phone, good quality, good to show off around, nice thing. Okay. I have the money also. But Lama, I am not willing to spend that much. I feel in vain for a phone, spending 600,000 for a phone just to WhatsApp, and not that I play games on my phone even now. What I do is WhatsApp and Instagram and, scroll around few things here and there, take a few photos, that's it. So should I pay 600,000 to a phone to get something like that done? I might think, no. So then there is no willingness to buy. I might have the money also, but I'm not willing to buy. So for a want, Lamai, to be converted to demand, one, there has to be purchasing power. You should have the money and you should also be willing to buy that good. Then only, Lamai, that want becomes something called a demand. What is demand? We'll go into detail in unit number 2. For now, don't worry too much about it. That's the entire unit 2 concept for us to talk about. Okay. Is the basics okay, Lamai? I'll okay with the difference between needs and wants. Don't worry about demand. We don't need demand. Needs and wants, fine. Safe. Even before you came to this class, you all know needs and wants. Okay. Now, Lamai, we'll come to the interesting part. The interesting part where what we are going to learn today. Very, very interesting, nice story. So I want you all to listen and understand this concept very well. So I'll do this on my blackboard in the sense my notepad. I'll do it on my notepad. You can get a screenshot. You can get a small sticky note and write it down. That you can do. First, don't worry about writing it down. Later, you can write it down. Worry about understanding the concept. Okay, let's start now. I'll start with, and then I'll come back to the note. Huh? Don't mind my previous notes. All right, can you tell me, if you take human wants, are they limited or unlimited? People have limited or unlimited wants. Human wants are unlimited. Okay, right. So I will write unlimited. There are unlimited wants. What can you tell about the resources that are used to satisfy these wants? Think of the amount of land, labor, and all that are there to satisfy these wants. The resources, maybe in your context for now, think of just money Vilu as resources. I'll go into detail later. Resources are limited. So we have unlimited wants and limited resources. Now this gives rise to our first economic concept, or the main concept, Lamai, something called scarcity. Something called what? Scarcity. So let me now teach you what is this scarcity. Right? Scarcity is the limitedness of limitedness of resources compared to our unlimited wants. So we say, Lamai, in economics, every country, every person will face something called what, Lamai? I will recap, don't worry. Every person, every country will face something called scarcity. What is scarcity? Scarcity, we say, is the limitedness. It is the what? Limitedness of resources, compared to the unlimited wants. So compared to our wants, Lamai, we have very limited resources. And that is what scarcity means. So if someone asks you what does scarcity mean, you can say, look here, scarcity means we have unlimited wants, but our resources are limited. That is what scarcity is. Scarcity is the limitedness of resources compared to your unlimited wants. Now we say, Lamai, I'll talk about this universal and all of that to explain this story. explain this, I'll give you a story. Now, let's say, Lamai, you became the first in the island. Okay, in your year, in 2 years from now, you're doing A levels, you became the first in the island. So far, I have not been able to produce the first in the island. Last year, I was able to produce the second. Hopefully, maybe in your batch, we can have the first in the island in 2 years. 2 years? Yeah, in 2 years, your results will come most likely in 2028. So hopefully, we'll see one of you all get there, right? So let's say, I want all of you all to dream to get there. Okay, let's say one of you all become, or let's say you become the first in the island. Now, as a result of you being first in the island, now there are so many TV interviews, right? You get called from different TV channels. They interview you. They ask you how you studied. You say you studied every day. You give all of that and you do all of that. You say you didn't even go for classes. You only learned from school. You give all that, right? Fine. Then, Lamai, after 1 week, let's say the president also gives you a call. Now, I don't know who the president would be at that time. Let's assume still Anura is the president, right? Anura Kumara Disanayaka gives you a call and he tells you, congratulations. As a result of you being first in the island, I am willing to give you a what? I'm gifting you a land. Where? In, let's say, Colombo 7. Right? So in Colombo, most peak area, they tell you, okay, I will gift you a land in Colombo 7. Right now, you're very happy, right? You're very happy. I don't know if they will call like that, but we'll assume below. Right? So the person calls you and tells you, I will gift you a land in Colombo 7. So now, Lamai, you have one land, one plot of land. You don't have unlimited amounts of land. Or let's say your land is a 30 perch land. Okay, you have one 30 perch land that is out there. I know I don't think the president will call you and give you a land, but there are so many other benefits that you might get. Okay, so let's say president calls you and he says, okay, I'm very happy. I'm gifting you a plot of land in Colombo 7. Let's say 30 perch, whatever perch, we don't care. So you have only, Lamai, one plot of land. Now you don't have unlimited lands. So your resources, your land is limited. You have one plot of land. Can you tell me, Lamai, with this plot of land, what would you like to do? What would you do, Lamai? Think now, imagine, put yourself in this situation and tell me, you won this 30 perch land in Colombo 7. Okay, some of y'all are building a house. Others, what do y'all think? Are there any other things? Okay, you're building a big mansion. Nice. Okay, a futsal court. Okay, some of y'all might sell it. Okay, a factory, a villa, a restaurant. Nice. An apartment, a hotel. Nice. A house for you and your mother. Nice. Shopping mall. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is, Lamai, with this plot of land, this scarce plot of land, now you have only one plot of land, it's scarce. With this scarce plot of land, what I'm trying to tell you here is, there are so many alternative uses. There are so many alternative uses, Lama. You can do so many things. Now, based on what you have told me, some of you all told me, sir, I will build a house. Okay, you all told me build a house. Some of you all told me, sir, we'll make a shopping mall. Okay, we'll make a shopping. Some of you all told me, sir, let's build a apartment. Okay. Okay, one person told me, let's make a futsal court. Okay, a futsal. Then what were the other options? Some of you all wanted, okay, no, kill this one, but it's nice. Some of you all told me a hotel or a restaurant. Okay, right. So there were so many others. I'll just take 5. Okay. So with this plot of land, I'll try to understand my story. Okay. With this plot of land, there are so many alternative uses. You have a scarce plot of land. You just have one land. But the users of this land, there are so much. You want to make a house. You want to build an apartment. Some of you all want to start a futsal court. Some of you all want to start like a hotel or a restaurant. You have so much of things that you can do with this. There are so many alternative uses. Now, my next question to you is, Lamai, can you do all of this with that 30 perch land that you got? President gifted you a 30 perch land. Can you do all of this? Can you build a house and a futsal court and an apartment and everything? Can you do all of this? Practically, no, Lamai, you can't do all of that. No? So therefore, what should you do now? What should you do now? You have to make a what? Because your scarce resources have alternative uses, you need to do what now, Lamai? You need to make a what? You need to decide, right? What's that economic term that is used, Lamai, in your tute? You need to now make a choice. Because you can't do everything, man. Now, with this land that Anura has gifted you, right? Nice land, Columbus Avanala Diana. But you can't do all of this. You can't build the house and you might say, I can divide the land and do not enough, Nilamai. At 30% land, how can you build an apartment and a shopping mall and everything in that? You can't. So therefore, what should you do, man? Because of the fact that your resources are scarce, you only have one plot of land. And those scarce resources have alternative uses. Therefore, what should you do, Lamai? Because your resources are scarce, and because those scarce resources have so many different uses, I only wrote 5 of it on the screen. You have to do what, Lamai? You have to make a choice. You have to choose among all those alternative uses. You have to choose one. Lamai, how do people choose? How do you choose, Lamai? Do you just ask one of your friends, Army, who catch one of my fingers, and you decide, he catches one finger, and you say, all right, let's build a house. How do you make it? How do you choose, Lamai? How decide? How do you decide? And so how usually people make a choice is, Lamai, they rank. Okay. Now I'll give you an example of a choice that you all would have made. They rank, Lamai. People rank in their heads, they rank and see. Now, I'll tell you, Lamai, a choice that you all will sometimes start to make in, let's say, around 2-3 months. In around 2-3 months, Lamai, once your O-level results are out, you all might now want to apply for schools. Right? You all might want to get to a bigger, nice school for A-levels. I would definitely encourage you, if you can get into one, please go. Right? Now, you might have to choose. Okay, let's say we look to apply for schools. Let's say you applied for around 5 to 10 schools. Let's say from that, okay, let's say you applied for 10 schools. From the 10 schools that you applied for, after your O-level results, you got 9 A's, you're very happy. You send applications for around 10 schools. Now you're waiting for interviews. Let's say you got a few interviews, and let's say from those 10 schools you applied, 5 schools selected you. Right? 5 schools are like, right, we like you, you can join. So how do you choose, Lamai? Now, what would you do? You might not write down and all of that, but in your head, Lamai, you're going to rank them, no? You're going to see, okay, this school, okay, this is how it is. Okay, this is the school, that is closest for me to travel. You will look at that also, traveling. Sometimes you must be living in Kandy, Lamai. That doesn't mean you can come every day for Colombo. No? So, okay, you will see, okay, traveling time, okay, this is the one. Then you look at recognition. You look at which school is more recognized. Then you will say, okay, does this school have good teachers? What about the facilities, right? Do they have these grounds, other facilities? What about those? Then you will see, okay, these are the subjects I like to do. Does this school offer those subject combination? So you will think, right? You will think of different things. And what would you do, Lamai? You would rank it in your head. You might not write it down. You will say, okay, right. My best option is I want to go to this school. Second best option, if not for this, I will go to this school. Okay, if not for this, I will go to this school. So you will now make a ranking in your head. That is what happens. That's how people choose. They might not write it down, but in their head, they know, best one is this. This is the second best one. And you do that. So now, Lamai, now let's say we will come back to our land example. Now, Andhra gifted you a land. You have so many alternative uses. Now, depending on what your options are, what you do now you rank. So maybe you see Columbus 7. Let's say now these all are the options. No? So instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll just put a ball here in front. Okay, so there are 5 options here. Okay, now what you do is you look at, okay, each one of these. If I build a house, what is the benefit I get? Okay, I can live posh house, Columbus 7. Okay. But then do I have the money to build? You see, you look at all. Then shopping mall now, right? This is what I'll do. If I sell the land, this is what I do. And let's say, Lamai, by looking at different options, the advantages, now you have ranked it. So let's say you decided, okay, the first best option for you is to build a hotel. Let's say a hotel or a restaurant. Let's say that is the one that is most profitable for you out there. That's the best one there. Okay. Let's say your second rank is, let's say, uh, having an apartment. So in Colombo, very hard to find houses. Maybe, so this is your second option. Let's say third option is build a house. So likewise, you have now ranked your options. Now, after you rank your options, Lamai, which one will you choose? After you rank them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a rational consumer, a consumer with proper brains, after ranking it, Lamai, which one will he go and choose? The first one, no? You will not rank this as first, second, third, fourth, and go for the fourth one, no, man. If you have ranked this in your head, this is my best option. This is my second one. So what you will do? People will choose the best option. You will choose your, let's say, right, you decided, I'm going to build a hotel. Or in other words, I'm going to build a restaurant here. Okay, you did that. Now what happens, Lamai? So if I'm to summarize the story, people have unlimited wants, but the resources are limited. That leads to our first thing called scarcity. What is scarcity? The limitedness of resources, compared to your unlimited wants. So example, I took a plot of land. So you have limited plot of land. You have one plot of land. That plot of land has so many alternative uses. Okay? He has so many alternative uses. But you can't do all of it, Nilaman. So you have to make a choice. How will you make a choice? You will rank best option maker. You will look at so many things and you will rank. First one is this, second one is this, third one is this. And then what you do, Lamai? You choose the best one. So that is a rational consumer. You choose the first one, not the second one. So you decided, right, I'm going to go and build a hotel or a restaurant. Now, Lamai, what happens after this? As a result of this, you know what happens, Lamai? There is a creation of something called an opportunity cost. Creation of something called an opportunity cost. Let me explain, Lamai. Opportunity cost is the benefit foregone. Okay, benefit foregone from your next best alternative. Benefit foregone from your next best alternative. Can you tell me, Lamai, if not for the hotel or restaurant, based on how I have ranked it, what is my next best alternative? If not for the hotel, what would I have done with my land? Don't tell me everything. If not for the hotel also, I can only do one thing, Nilamai. What is my next best alternative based on how I have ranked? Based on how I have ranked, my next best alternative, my next best option is what? Having that apartment. And that becomes the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is what? Foregone means what you sacrifice. So your opportunity cost is, you know what is my opportunity cost? Whatever benefit I could have got by building an apartment. Can you tell me what is the benefit I get if I own an apartment? What kind of benefit? Yes, definitely by selling the apartment or renting it, I can get money. Yes, that is one benefit. What about the status? The status, I am a owner of an apartment in Columbus. That is a benefit, right? So all of those are the benefit doesn't have to be money, Lamai. Yes, benefit can be that rent that you earn money, yes. But the, that high status, everyone will be like, look at this fellow has an apartment in Columbus. That brand, that posh thing that people talk about, that status, that could be a benefit. There could be multiple other benefits also. Lamai. Maybe now because you own an apartment, now you can easily get a bank loan. If you go to the bank and say, I want a bank loan, I am an owner of an apartment like this, then they might easily give you a bank loan also. So all of that is there, right? So that is what you call opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the benefit that you sacrifice or that you forego from your next best alternative. Now, because you selected to build a hotel, what is your next best thing that you couldn't do? You couldn't build the apartment. So the benefit of that apartment is what you call your opportunity cost. So maybe in my example, the benefit foregone from your next best alternative, that will be the benefit of owning an apartment. What is the benefit of owning an apartment? It could be a lot of things. It could be the rent that you earn, the brand name, the status. It could be so much of. That is what opportunity cost is about. And now I will go through this multiple times. I know you all are not 100% okay with this. We will go through the note as well. Don't worry. Okay, little by little, I'll build on this. Okay. So again, summary of the story. People have limited resources, but unlimited wants. That gives rise to our first problem called scarcity. What is scarcity? The limitedness of resources compared to unlimited ones. So for example, I said, let's say we have a scarce plot of land, right? You were island first, you got one plot of land as a gift from the president. So only one, no, you don't have unlimited land, you have one, scarce. So I'm telling you that scarce plot of land that you have has alternative uses. You can do so many things. But then I asked you all, can you do everything? You said no. So that means from all those different users, we have to make a choice. So how does a rational consumer, rational means a person with a brain, how does that person make a choice? He will rank and see, first option is this, second option is this, third option is this. So he will rank it and then he will select the first one, the best one. Okay. So as a result of selecting the best one, in my example, building the hotel, okay, that creates something called an opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the benefit of your next best alternative. If not for that choice, what is the next thing you would have done? If not for building the hotel, my next thing I would have done is built an apartment. So what's the benefit I can get from the apartment? I could have got rent. I could have, had that brand status saying I'm an owner of an apartment. I could have, let's say, easily got a bank loan from a bank saying, look here, I own an apartment, give me a loan. If you don't pay, you can even take my apartment. I can do all of that, right? So Anna, that is my opportunity cost. So the benefit that you forego from your next best option is what we call opportunity cost. I'll give you another example. Next best, second best, same thing. Second best is the next best. Okay. Then if I ask you, what is the opportunity cost for you for coming for this class right now? If not for coming for this class from 4 to 6 o'clock today, what is the next best thing you would have done? That is your opportunity cost. What would you have done? If not for this class from 4 to 6. Okay, some of you are sleeping, watching a recording. Okay, what else? If not for this class, right now, without coming for this class, what would you have done? Okay, futsal, scrolling Instagram, watching a movie. Annalamai, that is your opportunity cost. Playing cricket, nice. Right? Anna, that is your opportunity cost, Lamai. Now, because you came to this class, some of you all said, sir, my opportunity cost is sleeping. You had to sacrifice your sleep. Some of you all, okay, wanted to read a book. Because of this class, couldn't read that book. Some of you all want to stay on your phone and watch videos or YouTube or movies or whatever. And that is your opportunity cost. My next question to you is, Lamai, is the opportunity cost the same for everyone? Can I say opportunity cost is exactly this? Make a you all are all wrong. Opportunity cost is only sleeping. No. Opportunity cost is what, Lamai? It is subjective. It differs from person to person. My next best alternative is not your next best alternative. Now, if you ask me, sir, what is your opportunity cost of coming to this class? Now, I could have said, today is a very busy day. Last night I was on a trip in the last couple of days. I came back early in the morning at around 2 o'clock, woke up like that itself and went to work. After that, from work also, I soon came and I came. No, not normative state, not complete. So, went to work, left a little early. Now I have a class after this also. Maybe I would have said I have some office work pending. I could have done that. That is my opportunity cost. So can I say for all of us, the opportunity cost is office work? No. It differs from person to person. I mean, that's what you call subjective. Yes, normative statements for all subjective. Don't connect normative statements here. What does subjective mean? Subjective means, Lamai, it differs from person to person. Your opportunity cost is not my opportunity. You and your friend doesn't have to have the same opportunity, because based on how you rank, your opportunity cost is different. Now, for all of you all, why are you all here in this class? Y'all are here in this class right now because all of y'all ranked coming to class as number one. Now, there are more people in the group. In the WhatsApp group, there are more people than who are in the Zoom class. Why aren't the others in the class? Because for them, coming to class was not their first option. For them, maybe sleeping. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe sleeping or going out with their friends or doing something else. For them, that was their first option. So they chose that. Now, y'all are here in this class because y'all made the class your first option. So for you, the opportunity cost is something else. Some of y'all said sleeping, some of y'all said reading a book, some of y'all said a movie. That is opportunity cost. It differs from person to person. And then that's the overall story. We'll come to that. Is the basics okay, Lamai? You don't have to be 100% thorough with it, but it's the basic idea. I mean, people have unlimited wants, limited resources that gives rise to scarcity. Scarce resources have alternative users. So you have to make a choice. When you make a choice, there's opportunity cost. If you know that, that is enough. Okay. Now we'll come to the note, Lamai. Let's go word by word properly, and let's try to understand this even better. Okay. I'll share the screen again. If you all can get, you can get a screenshot later. When you make a choice, it leads to opportunity cost. Correct. Okay. Now we'll come to the note again. Coming to our note. Page number 4. Now listen. What I explained is what is there in this note. Okay. I'll come to opportunity cost again. Don't worry. Okay. The note is saying, Lamai, scarcity is the limitedness of resources. What is scarcity? It is the limitedness of resources compared to your unlimited wants. So compared to your unlimited wants, your resources are limited. So we call that scarcity. And then we say, Lamai, scarcity is the central problem common to every economy. That means not just Sri Lanka. Every country, every person will have scarcity. Now, can you say, okay, what if someone comes and says, okay, a country like USA, a very developed country, does not face scarcity? Do you all agree, Lama? USA has so much of resources, so therefore they do not face scarcity. Wrong, Lama. Because no matter how much of resources USA has, USA's wants are also unlimited. So compared to USA's wants, their resource limited. It doesn't matter which country, China, the US, the Japan, the whatever. Every country, Lamai, will face scarcity. Because no matter how much of resources they have, everyone's wants are unlimited. Now, for example, okay, do you think someone like world's richest people now, for example, people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, do they face scarcity, Lamai? What do you all think? Yes or no? Elon Musk, does he face scarcity? He does. Yes, yes, yes. So no matter how rich he is, Lamai, his resources might not be enough to satisfy his unlimited wants. Maybe Elon Musk wants to own Mars. Maybe he wants to have 100 rockets and go to, I don't know, Jupiter. He doesn't have resources for that. You might be the most developed country. You might be the most richest person. That doesn't matter, Lamai. You will always have scarcity. That's why we say scarcity is the central problem. It's there for everyone, not just you or me. Everyone will face scarcity. Whether you are developed or not developed or rich or poor, everyone will face scarcity. And then here's Lamai, I'm saying scarcity is a relative concept. Relative doesn't mean your uncle or auntie. What is relative here mean, Lamai? Relative means comparative. That is, which means compared to human wants, your resources are limited. Now, for example, if I come and say, scarcity means a country does not have resources. What do you all think? Is that yes or no? Correct or wrong? Scarcity means a country does not have resources. Wrong. Scarcity doesn't mean that you don't have resources. Never. Scarcity means compared to your wants, your resources are limited. Now, take a country like USA. They have the latest technology with artificial intelligence. They have all of it. They have the machinery. They have so much of things. Like they have the money. So therefore, can you say USA doesn't have resource? No, they have. But compared to their wants, Lamai, their resources are limited. That is why we say scarcity is a relative concept. Compared to your wants, your resources are relative to your wants, your resources are limited. And here's the I'm saying this does not mean the total absence of resources. Scarcity does not mean that you don't have resources. Scarcity means you have resources, but compared to your wants, your resources are limited. That's the story. Then, Lamai, what gives rise to scarcity? According to my flowchart that I drew, Lamai, on my black screen, what plus what leads to scarcity? There are two things that lead to scarcity. What and what? Why does scarcity arise? One, because human wants are unlimited. Okay. Because human wants are unlimited, it leads to scarcity. And the other reason, because we have unlimited wants and limited resources. Because of those two, we have scarcity. The two reasons here. The two main characteristics. What are the two? One, at a given point of time, human wants are unlimited. And two, the resources used to produce goods and services are limited. Your resources are limited, wants are limited. That is what gives rise to scarcity. Now, can you solve scarcity? What do you think? Can a country ever solve scarcity? Country or economy, can they solve? No, no. The only way that you can solve scarcity is if human wants become limited. That will never happen. Or if our resources become unlimited, that also won't happen. So that is the only way you can solve scarcity. Either people's wants have to be limited or your resources have become unlimited. That can't happen, no? So there is no way of solving scarcity. So even let's say 500 years from now, whoever who is learning economics, they will also learn the same thing as scarcity. Then I'll give you another example. You tell me if this is scarcity or not. Let's say, how many of you like to have tippy tip? Yes, tippy tip. Do you like to have tippy tip? Yeah. Earlier, I remember small days, I was also a big fan. Right now, not a very big fan, but no, earlier, big fan. I don't know if you all grew in a different generation, but I remember small days that green tippy dip was like heaven. Yeah, now I also don't like it. Like it in the sense, not that I eat that much, but earlier I liked it much. Okay. Now let's say, Lamai, whether you like it or not, now you are going to a supermarket, let's say Cargill's, buy tippy tip. Now in the shelf that there is tippy tip, you realize and you see all the tippy tip is over. Now you are going to eat tippy tip and you realize you collected some money, 50 rupees, I don't know, 100 rupees maybe now. You're going to buy a tippy tip. Tippy tip is over in the shelf. Does that mean there is a scarcity of tippy tip? What do you all think? Yes or no? You go to buy tippy tip, nah. Ivarai. Does that mean that's scarcity or is that something else? You go to the supermarket, Cargill's again, nah. Tippy tip, ivarai. Is that scarcity or is that something else? Okay, think about something. Can that thing be solved? Can you solve that? Now, today there is no tippy tip. Can you solve that? You can solve it, right? Maybe why is there no tippy tip today? Tippy tip might have finished because maybe some fellow before came and bought 100 tippy tip and went. Or maybe some logistic, the truck bringing tippy tip has got delayed a little. Maybe for example, let's say the factory that is producing tippy tip, one of their machines are broken. So maybe within a day or by tomorrow, that thing will be solved. What is that called, Lamai? If that, then that is not scarcity because scarcity can't be solved. No? Then what is that called? That is what you call, Lamai, a shortage. A what? A shortage. That is not scarcity. So here I'm saying here, the shortage of goods prevailing at the market is not considered as scarcity. As The shortage arises because of what? With the delay of stocks, and the shortage disappears with the arrival of stock. Why is there a shortage? Because there is no stock. Maybe the shipment has got delayed, or production has got delayed, or the fellow has forgot to put from the storage room to the counter, or something would have happened. But that is not scarcity. That can be solved. So don't confuse scarcity and a shortage. Not demand. Demand is something else. We'll talk about demand in unit number 2. Okay. The characteristics of scarcity, that was easy to remember. The first two things I talked about. Human wants are unlimited. The resources are limited. So given that we have unlimited wants and limited resources, that only gives rise to scarcity. Those are the 2 points. Unlimited wants, limited resources. Okay. Now, if I ask you another question, okay, now if we use our resources very carefully, very efficiently, right, without wastage, without doing that, can we solve scarcity then? What do you all think? Your resources very carefully, no wastage, be carefully, right? You use your resources. Can you solve scarcity? Now think, Lam, I want you to think. Think of what is scarcity. Now, if you use all your resources, can we solve it? Yes or no? What do you all think? Hmm? Yeah. Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Others, can you solve scarcity? My question is, can you solve scarcity if you use your resources carefully? Answer is no. No matter how carefully I use my resources, why can't we solve it? No matter how my resources more carefully I'm using it, no wastage, nothing. But why can't I solve scarcity? Because of what? Because my wants are unlimited, right? And don't forget that. No matter how carefully you use your resources, you might be the most efficient person, no wastage, nothing. You're using your resources very carefully, very efficiently. But you can't solve scarcity. Because why? Because your wants are unlimited. What is scarcity, Lama? Scarcity is the limitedness of resources compared to your unlimited wants. You might use your limited resources very efficiently. No wastage, nothing. But given that your wants are unlimited, Lamai, there will always be scarcity. That's what I'm saying. You see, the use of resources economically is considered as efficient utilization of resources. However, until wants remain unlimited, as long as human wants are unlimited, what happens? This economic use of resources would not solve the problem of scarcity. You might be the most richest person, right? You can't solve Lama. You can't eliminate scarcity. That's why we say scarcity is the central problem of economics. Every country, every person, you might be developed, you might be rich, you might be poor, you might use your resources carefully, you might do whatever, but you can't solve scarcity. No matter what you do, Lamai, you can't solve scarcity. Only 2 ways to solve scarcity. Either human wants have to be limited or your resources have to be unlimited. That won't happen, no man. People's wants are always unlimited. Resources are always limited. Unless that changes, there is always scarcity. Remember that. They can twist and turn it around so many ways. You have to be firm with your answer. In your paper, Lamai, they might give you examples. They might say, a country is economizing their resources. They are using their resources very carefully. As a result, they can solve scarcity. Do you agree? No. They can ask, okay, there is a country that is very developed. They have all the resources they want, so they do not face scarcity. No. No matter how much of resources you have, no matter how much of, let's say, Lama, no matter how much of economically you use your resources, you always have scarcity. Is money a need or want? I don't think it's any of that, right? Money is just a mode of, it's a mean of transaction so that you can get one of those. I will use money to buy, let's say, a loaf of bread. So money, you don't put it as a need or want. That. Then here I'm saying scarcity is considered as the central problem of economics due to the following reasons. One, it is common to every society. So I'm trying to prove it to you, Lamai. You might be rich, you might be poor, you might be the most developed country, you might be the country using the resources very economical. No matter who you are, Lamai, you will always have scarcity. And then because of this scarcity, Lamai, every country has to decide on three things that we will go into detail later. They have to decide what to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce. That we will not learn today. What are those three questions? That is there later, Lamai. So if you go in your tute, if you go to around page number, maybe so here, basic economic problems. We will learn it there, page number 19. Maybe next that, just say page number 19. We learn it at that point. I'm not going into detail now. What is that? What to produce, how to produce, whom to produce, story. So let me take a minute to give you a quick recap of what I just told you. What I just told you is, Lamai, I told you people's resources are limited, wants are unlimited. As a result, it gives rise to a thing called scarcity. What is scarcity? The limitedness of resources compared to unlimited want. Scarcity doesn't mean that we don't have resources. Scarcity means we have resources, but compared to our wants, those resources are limited. Whether you are rich, poor, this thing, you always have scarcity. Then I told you, Lamai, something like shortage. Now, a shortage is a temporary thing. Now, you go to the supermarket to buy tippy-tip, tippy-tip, naha. There is no tippy-tip. That doesn't mean there is a scarcity of tippy-tip, Lamai. There is a shortage of tippy-tip. That can be solved. Today, no tippy-tip, tomorrow stock will come and it gets restocked. Solved, problem over. That is a shortage. Scarcity is not that, because scarcity is something that you can't solve. And then I told you, no matter how economically you use your resources, you still can't solve scarcity. It's common to every, so we call it the central problem of economics, or we also call it, Lamai, it's a universal problem. It's a universal problem. Another example of scarcity, Lamai, it can be anything. Now, you take any resources that you have, it's scarcity, right? So if you take your plot of land, maybe even your laptop right now. Now think of your laptop. With your laptop or phone that you're joining this class, you can do so much of things, no? You can join the class, watch a YouTube video, play a game, do this, do that. But you can't do everything, no, because you have only one laptop. So you decided I'm going to come to class. So everything else you are sacrificed. So your laptop is scarce, your laptop is limited. We'll go into more detail in a while. Now continuing from there, given that we understood that our resources are scarce, that means compared to our wants, our resources are limited. And these limited resources have what uses, Lamai? Are there only one use for your resources? Like that plot of land that Andro gifted you. Is there only one use? No. There are multiple uses, Lamai. There are alternative uses. You can do so much of things. Here, see, since scarce resources have alternative uses, instead of selecting many, people have to choose. We'll come to that, right? So look at my example. I've given a different example in the tute. I'm saying, when considering a land, it has alternative uses, such as constructing a factory, maybe doing some farming, but I don't think now any of you all didn't give me farming in your Columbus 7 land. Good. That would have been a bad choice. Then making a playground. So you can't do everything, right? With a plot of land, you can build a factory, do some farming, build a playground, like you all said, maybe apartment, maybe a futsal court, maybe so many different things you can do. There are so many alternative uses, but you can't do everything. So therefore, what should you do? You have to choose one of it. Only one you can get done. So that leads to what, Lamai? That leads to a choice. So remember that flow chart. People have unlimited wants. I'll just say UW, limited resources. That gives rise to scarcity. Your scarce resources have alternative uses. Therefore, you have to make a choice. So what is the choice, Lamai? Choice is you make a selection, no? A consumer or a producer, you select. Now, even Lamai, your coming to this class is a choice. You decided, right, you're going to come and try Arshad sir's class out. There are so many other teachers. Why didn't you go to that stage? So you made a choice to be here. Now I made a choice with my time. I'm going to do econ classes. I could have done something else with my time. So everyone makes choices, Laman. So because we can't do everything. Now you can't go to 10 classes, Laman. You have to choose one of it. I can't go and do everything I want. No? So I decided, okay, I will teach econ. I can't teach business and accounts and statistics and everything. So I decided, okay, I will do this. So that is choice. Now, why do choices arise, Lamai? Because of these two. Because people have scarce resources, and those scarce resources have alternative uses. Fine. That is choice. Then, Lamai, when you make a choice, what gets created? There is a what cost. As a result of making a choice, now you are sacrificing all the other options. No? What gets created when you make a choice? There is a opportunity cost that gets created. I'll give you an example, Lamai. Let's say I had a plot of land. With this land, there are many alternative uses. My best option was constructing a factory. My second best option was farming. My third best option was building a playground. So if I have ranked it as 1, 2, 3 like that, I will always go with my first one. So with my land, I built a factory. What is my opportunity cost of building this factory, Lamai? What is my opportunity cost? What's the opportunity cost? I said opportunity cost is the benefit that you forego from your next best alternative. What is my next best alternative? If not for building this factory, what would I have done with that land? I would have gone and done some farming. So what's the benefit I could have got from farming, Lamai? My next best is farming, not a playground. Number two. What would I have done? I would have got a nice harvest. I could have got some money from that harvest. And even Lamai, by being this one, I would have, very peaceful, no? When you have now compared to working in these offices and Colombo traffic and all of that. Imagine you are in a farm. And how many people would love to do a job like that? No? Nicely manage a farm and wake early in the morning and no phones, no internet, no nonsense. You're in a nice, peaceful, green environment. You have to wake up, do some different things. That's what I would have loved to, right? One day, I'm thinking, if I retire, I would actually get into something like that. Right now, life is so stressed out, right? Right now, with all the amount of messages I get on WhatsApp, for a day, I spend around 2 hours replying to messages on WhatsApp. Then on top of that, I spend around, let's say, 5, 6 hours teaching. So it's a lot of time. Right? So I felt, how easy life would be if there is nothing called a laptop or a phone, no, all of that. I would, be in a farm. I was actually thinking, right? I was thinking of, I spoke to some people last week also, not completely to stop teaching and go to a farm. I wanted to, let's say, see if I can build a greenhouse. Do you all know greenhouses? Yes. That the whole closed thing where you build things inside. I think it's a little expensive, right? I thought it would have been much cheaper. So I spoke to some people. I saw some YouTube videos and I thought maybe I can own a greenhouse. I can, plant something and, nice look at it and wait every day. But it's a little expensive. So therefore I decided, no, for now I'll put that on pause and I'll continue to teach. Yeah. So that's the element. That could have been another benefit. It's not just the money I get from the harvest, but the peace of mind, the relaxation I would get by, owning a farm and working there. So all of that is my opportunity cost. So remember, my opportunity cost doesn't have to be a financial cost. It doesn't have to be money. Now, I asked you all, Lamai, what is your opportunity cost of coming to this class? You all told me, sir, I could have slept. There is no money involvement there. You all told me, sir, I would have watched a movie. There is no money involvement there. So, opportunity cost, realize, Lamai, yes, it could have money as well. Yeah. But it doesn't have to always be money. So, that's why we say opportunity cost is not purely a financial concept. I'll come to that in a while. Okay. Opportunity cost is your next best alternative. See, when selecting one alternative from all other alternatives available, the value of the next best alternative foregone is called opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? The value of your next best alternative or the benefit from your next best alternative. Now, if not for my first one, what is my next best? Next best, or we can call it Lama, your second best. Right? If this best one is this, second best, your next best one. The benefit you go from that is what you call opportunity cost. In economics, we have different other names for opportunity cost. We call opportunity cost as real cost. We call it as economic cost. So there are multiple different names that we give for that. Is that okay? Fine. Yes. Nice. Then, okay. You want a small break to walk around and get some water? Depending on you. If you want one, I will give you one. If you don't want, I will continue. Whatever my consumers or my students want. Right. Okay. So majority looks like 60% wants a break, others don't. So majority. Okay. Okay. Once again, what is opportunity cost? Nama? Opportunity cost is the benefit. Opportunity cost is again what? It's the benefit foregone from your next best alternative. Now, when you decide to make a choice, if you decided, okay, I'm going to construct a factory. If that is what you decided, your opportunity cost is Lama, the benefit you are sacrificing from your next best one. Now, can you say, Lama, my opportunity cost is farming and building a playground? Can I say that? It's not both. Why the second best then? No, second best because you decided to make the factory. If not for the factory, what would you have done? If not for the factory, you would have not done farming, playground, everything. If not for the factory, you would have only done farming. That's why opportunity cost is not everything. Now, my opportunity cost is the benefit from your next best thing. Now, if not for this class, I can't tell my opportunity cost is sleeping, doing my office work, making a tute, watching a movie. What is my next best thing? If not for this class, what's the next best thing? Right now, I would say I would do some office work. My office work has piled up and all of it. I would have done that here. I can't say my opportunity cost is everything. Doing my office work, having a small nap, making my tute. No. So opportunity cost is only, if not for this, what is the next thing I would have done? That is only what you call opportunity cost, the benefit from your next best. Right. So since most of you all wanted a break, we'll take a small break, Lamai, and then we have a bit more to get that done. Alternative uses mean there are so many uses, right? Now, if you take a plot of land, you can do so many things in Lamai. You can build a house, you can build a playground, you can build a factory, you can do so much of things. That's what you call alternative uses. There are so many multiple uses. Okay, done. Then we'll come to the ranking and all. So shall we take a break until 5:25? Yes. So you don't have to leave the Zoom call, Lamai. You can just mute yourself and go. It's 5:19 now. You have 6 minutes. Take a 5-minute break and come at 5:25. I'll go through the next part. Take a break and come. So welcome back, Namai. After the break, we'll get into the next part of it. We'll try out a few questions also, a few past paper questions just to see whether you have understood. Should we highlight something consider underline? No, so this is the main things that I highlight. It depends. You can also highlight those same points. Whatever you feel important, Namai, you can highlight. It doesn't have to be the same things that I highlight. Yeah. What is a trade-off? Trade-off means Namai, a choice. As a result of making a choice, you have to sacrifice. No? That is what you call a trade-off. So I'll just make a note there. You will come across this sometimes in a few past papers. Yep. What is trade-off, Lamai? Trade-off means it's a normal English term. It's about sacrificing something due to a choice made. So when you decide to do one thing, Lama, you have to sacrifice something else. No? Because you decided to come to this class, you have to sacrifice, let's say, your 2 hours of sleep. Because you come to class, maybe you'll sacrifice reading a book, maybe sacrifice watching a movie. Now, that is what you call trade-off, Lama. Okay? Now, right. Now, I'll come into another one. Lamai, we say opportunity cost. There is something called economic goods. That is our lesson for tomorrow. Tomorrow, no, for next week. I say, Lamai, opportunity cost is positive. It is positive for economic goods. Now, sometime around 5 years ago, podda kamaru for me to teach this. Now, teaching this is very easy, Lamai. I'll tell you what this positive means. Now, if someone comes and tells you, I am COVID-19 positive, or they say I'm COVID positive, what does that mean? Someone comes and tells you, Lama, look here, I am COVID positive. What does that mean? How are you going to interpret what he said? That means he has COVID. No, that is a simple term. No? If someone says, I am COVID positive, what does that mean? He has COVID. He's affected under muta COVID. So then, Lamai, when I say economic goods, when I say, Lamai, economic goods, opportunity cost is positive for economic goods. What does that mean? In simple terms, it means, Lamai, economic goods. What are economic goods? We will learn next class, Lamai, don't worry. Economic goods has an opportunity cost. I'll just say OC, yeah, has an opportunity cost. That is what it means. Don't get scared. What is this positive, negative? Anyway, if someone says, I am COVID positive, that means he has COVID. Just like that, I am saying over here, opportunity cost is a positive concept and opportunity cost is positive only with economic goods. That means economic goods have an opportunity cost. What is economic good? Don't worry, that is our next class. If you go to page number here, page number 8, next week I will teach you here economic goods. We'll learn that next week. For now, don't worry too much about it. Okay, now I'll come into this. Some of these we have learned. A few characteristics or few important things relating to opportunity cost. One thing that I told you is, Lamai, opportunity cost is not always a financial concept. That means it is not always money, Lamai. Opportunity cost, yes, there could be money also. Opportunity cost is your next best thing that you sacrifice. It doesn't have to be money. Now, you all told me your opportunity cost is, so I would have slept. So I would have watched a movie. So I would have gone and played a game. Some of you all told me, so I would have played cricket. And that is your opportunity cost. There it doesn't have to be money. There could have been money. There could have not been money. That's why I say opportunity cost is not always financial concept. I am saying it is a real concept. Real concept, that's the opposite of financial. It doesn't have to be money. It's the real benefit. Now, for example, if not for this class, I would have slept. What's the benefit I would have got? I would have felt a little relaxed. I could have felt a little nice, right? I could have been more energetic in my class at night. All of that. Then see, opportunity cost shows the real value of your next best alternative foregone. Not just the financial value. It's not just money. It's the real benefit that you're sacrificing. That's one thing. Then the second thing that I'm going to tell you is, Lamai, also I told you all before, is opportunity cost is not the same for everyone. Your opportunity cost might be different from my opportunity cost because your next best alternative is not my next best alternative. Now, if Anura gives you a plot of land and tell you, all right, this is your land, how you will rank it will be different from how your friend will rank it. So, for example, you will say, okay, I don't have a house to live in. I am living in a rented house. So, for me, my best option is build a house. You will say, okay, I will build a house. Second one is, okay, I will put a apartment. Third one is, will say, I'll bring a hotel. Now, your friend will say, okay, for me, the best one is I want to have an apartment and earn rent from it. My second one is, let's say I want to build a school, right? Third one is something else. So for you, the opportunity cost might be building an apartment. For your friend, it will be a school. So that is based on how you rank it, Lamai. There is no rule saying opportunity cost has to be this. No. Your opportunity cost, my opportunity cost, your friends, your neighbors are different, Lamai. That's what we say. Point number 2. Opportunity cost is connected to the individual. Therefore, opportunity cost can be expressed only by the person who is making it. Only you can tell what is your opportunity cost. I can't tell that this is only the opportunity cost for you. I can't say that. It's connected to you. And it differs from person to person. That means it is subjective. Your opportunity cost is not my opportunity cost. And then I also say, Lamai, There is an external cost which occurs with opportunity cost. What is this? Don't worry too much about it, Lamai. This external cost, this is something called externalities. We will learn this in unit number 8. I will come into that point. This is another 2-hour class to teach you external cost. So I'm not going to touch it over here. Just remember that point for now. Okay, done. So are those 3 points okay? My third point you can ignore. Are the first 2 points okay? Opportunity cost is not always financial. It doesn't always have to be money. And the second one I'm saying is opportunity cost differs from person to person. Your opportunity cost is not my opportunity cost. Those are the 2 points I told you. Is that okay? Next best alternative is a benefit from the next best alternative foregone, or the value of your next best alternative foregone. Okay. Now, there can be certain situations, right? This is the last part for today, and then we can do some questions. There could be certain situations where my opportunity cost is 0. Or in other words, there could be certain situations where there is no opportunity cost. Let me explain one by one. The first one is, Lamai, when you have unlimited resources, or we call it non-economic goods, or when there are non-economic resources. I'll give you an example. Lamai, take something like sunlight, not the soap, sunlight, not the soap, Hiru Elia. Now, when you take sunlight, Lamai, you can do so many things with sunlight. No? You can dry your clothes. You can charge your solar panel. You can, let's say, if you have some food to make karavala, you can dry some fish and you can, you get vitamin D, any vitamin C, I don't know, vitamin D, okay, whatever vitamin. So you have so many uses of sunlight. Lamai, do you have to choose? Now, today in the morning, did you have to choose? Today with the sunlight, I will dry my clothes. Tomorrow with the sunlight, I will charge my solar panel. Day after tomorrow, I will, let's say, dry my fish and make karavala. Do you have to choose, Lamai? No, right? Why? Did you? No, if you're not choosing, that means you don't have to sacrifice, Lamai. That means there is no opportunity cost. Right? Opportunity cost is the next best thing you sacrifice, next best thing you forego. But here you don't have to forego anything. You can do everything. You can, you can, you can go and dry your clothes. You can go and charge your solar panel. You can go and dry your fish. You want to go and sunbathe. Let's say you are a foreigner who wants to get tanned. Yeah. And you want to go and get, I don't know if any Sri Lankans want to get that. All of y'all. How many of you use a sunscreen? Yes. You have a sunscreen when you go out. Yes. Boys, anyone? You have a sunscreen? I don't have I don't have a sunscreen, but now when I go out, I got married last year. Now when I go out, my wife applies something and sends me. Why? Because I'm already very, very dark. If I go out and get even more dark, I might not even be visible sometimes. So she applies a few sunscreen, and she has these posh brands. She orders those posh brands from my card only. That's a different story. She takes my card. She sometimes puts it on Uber Eats. Now Uber also very easy, man. Now for girls to go shopping also, you don't have to. This Uber has all of it. Pick Me Market has all of it. So my card is registered in her Uber or Pick Me. If she wants, she buys us this thing. She gives me a little also, applies a little to me. She applies it every day. Whenever she has time and when I'm going out, she applies a bit on me also. So coming back to that, Lamai. Okay. Now, something like that sunlight. Or let's say I'm a foreigner, I want to get tan and I want sunlight. So do I have to choose, Lamai? No, right? I can do everything. Why? Because, Lamai, sunlight is unlimited. There is unlimited amount of sunlight. Because of the fact that there is unlimited amount of sunlight, that means I don't have to make a choice. No choice, right? I can do everything. Can do everything. You can go and dry your clothes, get tanned and have a sunburn. You can go and make karavala. You can charge your solar panel. You can do everything. Why? Sunlight is unlimited. So therefore, you don't have to sacrifice anything. No? You can do everything. No choice. Meaning, there is no opportunity cost, or in other words, zero opportunity cost. Is that clear, Lamai? If you have unlimited resources, there is no opportunity cost there. Example, something like sunlight. There is no opportunity cost of you going and drying your clothes. You didn't have to sacrifice anything. You can dry your clothes, build, charge your solar panel. You can do everything there. Fine. Number one, situations where opportunity cost is zero. So one situation is when you have unlimited resources, like sunlight. The second situation is where, Lamai, when there are no alternative uses. When there are no alternative uses. Let me explain that. Now you can see, Lamai, I have this pen. Okay, this is the small pencil, not a very original one, normal local one. Okay, can you tell me what else can I do with this pen, Lamai? Now, right now I'm using it and writing it on my screen. Is there any other alternative use? Can I go and draw in a paper? Apart from using it on my iPad, is there any other alternative use, Lamai? Can I write with this on a paper? It doesn't write. Yeah, keep selling separately, will you? Anything else I can use it for? Can I go and do something else with it? No, right? That means there is what? There is no alternative use. Or take another example, or take something like a ship anchor. Now, you all know ship anchor, not anchor milk powder. You all know ship anchor, right? When a ship comes to the shore, to make sure that the ship doesn't move around, they put that big yakada anchor that looks like, I don't know how it looks like. It looks like this. No, that looks like an ocean. Wait, I'll show you a ship anchor. Hmm. Yeah, I hope you all have seen ship anchor. Here, this one is what you call ship anchor, right? So what is the ship anchor used for? The ship anchor is used for Lamai when the ship comes to the shore, it comes closer to the shore. You put this, you drop it into the sea so that what happens? So that the ship doesn't move around, no? That's what a ship anchor is for. Is there another alternative use for this, Lamai? Can you do anything else with the ship anchor? If not for putting it here, is there an alternative use? There is no alternative use, no? So then, Lamai, will there be an opportunity cost? Now, let's say a ship has come, right? A ship has come to the Sri Lankan harbor. And then when it came to the harbor, whoever who is in charge of the ship, they released and they put the anchor in the sea. Now the ship anchor is embedded in the sea. Is there anything else that you could have done with it? If not for putting in the sea, වෙන මොකුත් option නැහැ නේ ළමයි. So that means there is no choice again, right? So ship anchor, it has only one use. What else can you do with it? Nothing else you can do. So ship anchor has only one use. So that means, Lama, you don't sacrifice anything. If you use the ship anchor to keep the ship stable, there's nothing that you're sacrificing. Now, for example, just because I'm using this pen and writing here, am I sacrificing anything? No, what else can I do with this pen? Can my wife use it to draw on a board? No. Can she use it to color a book? No. So there is no alternative use. So when you have only one use, Lama, there is nothing else that you can sacrifice. So if you're not sacrificing, means there is no opportunity cost. So nothing is sacrificed. So given that there is nothing is sacrificed, Lamai, here also there will be no opportunity cost, or you can say zero opportunity cost. So there are two situations. One is unlimited resources. The other one was when there are no alternative uses. And the third situation where opportunity cost can be zero, or where there is zero opportunity cost, is when, Lamai, when you are using unemployed resources. I'll give you an example. How many of you are, Lamai, in school? Okay, in school, They told you to do some handwork and come with some, maybe when you all were small, some handwork and come with waste resources from your house. What did you all make and go? Yeah. With household waste, do some handwork and come kill. They would have told, they would have told me also when I was small. What did you all make? Some of you all would have taken these popsicle sticks and made something. Some of you all would have taken eggshells and you all would have, made like a tortoise. How many of you all made that? Eggshell and tortoise. Yeah. You all would have done that. Bangle with tissue rolls. Cardboard houses. Some of you all would have taken like a box or something, made like a pen holder. Right? You would have done those. You would have done so much of things like that, right? Different. Yeah. A giraffe with eggshells. So අර ඒ වගේ ඒවා ළමයි flower vase with shampoo bottle. So you all would have done so much of things like that නේ ළමයි. Now think of that. Okay, we'll you decided to, nice, Humpty Dumpty, good. Okay, now some eggshells. Okay, there were some eggshells. Now those eggshells were lamai thrown near in your house. Now picture will in your house near the sink. Near the sink there is that the kunu baldi near the sink. There you put all this indul. Right? Now there are eggshells there. No one is using. It is just there. Now you took it and you did your handwork. Was anything sacrificed, lamai? It was just there. If not for that, it would have been just thrown, lamai. Did you sacrifice anything? Now, if it was used for something else and you took it, then there is opportunity cost. Now, let's say, for example, those eggshells were put near plants. Sometimes you put it near plants for what? To make sure that snails and all don't come, no? Now, if it was there and you took it, yes, opportunity cost. But these eggshells were just there in your kunubaldia. No one was using. Now you took it and you used it. Is there opportunity cost? No. Why? Because it was previously unemployed. Now, think of your laptop. Now, let's say, Lamai, now right now you're using let's say your laptop to join this class. Is there opportunity cost? Could you have done something else with that laptop? There is, right? How many things you can do with your laptop? You can watch a movie, you can play a game, you can do so many things with your laptop. But let's say your laptop was just closed and kept inside an almirah. Inside almirah, it was just closed and kept. You were not using, no one is using your laptop. Just for this class, you took that laptop and now joined the class. Are you sacrificing anything now, Lamai? It was just there. No one is using. Oh, hey, it was locked inside almirah and kept. It was unemployed. It was not being used. It was just locked and kept. Now you took. Are you sacrificing anything? No. So if resources were unemployed, if they were just there, no one was using them. And now if you take and use it, Lamai, there is no opportunity cost. Let's say there was a shopping bag below in your house, Lamai. Let's say there is a shopping bag. It was just there, just lying around. Where do you all keep shopping bags, Lamai, in your house? Maybe not shopping bag, at least those posh bags, no limit, and all of those, the thicker bags. Where do you all keep it? Do you all also keep it under your bed? No, or has that trend gone off now? Under the bed? Yeah. Or do you have a bag with bags? Yes. Do you have a big bag with all the other bags? You have both, no? Right. Now think, that big bag with bags or whatever the shopping bags under your bed. Now you took, it was just there. Those bags, either it is inside another bag or either it is inside the bed or under the bed or either it's both of it. Right. So just because you took, give me a second. Okay. Just because you took that bag and now used it and put something, is there opportunity cost? Are you sacrificing anything? No. That bag was just there. Now you took it, you think, what are you going to sacrifice? And that is what you call the third reason. When there are unemployed resources, right? So that is when the resources were not being used before. So they were just there. It was not being used. So now when you decide to use it, you don't have to sacrifice anything. It was just there. So therefore, there will be no opportunity cost. Or in other words, zero opportunity cost. And those are the three situations where my opportunity cost can be zero. Is that okay? Fine. I'm going to take 2 minutes to now give you a summary of all what we have learned last class and this class. And then I'm going to put you directly into a few A-level past papers. Once that is done, I will put you into the quiz. So listen, okay? Last class, Lamai, I started with talking about something called what? Economic behavior. Okay? I told you economic behavior is the activities that people do to satisfy their physical needs and wants. We learned. Then I told you what economics is. I said economics is about what? It's a subject or it's a social science that studies how people use their scarce resources to satisfy their unlimited. How can you use your resources to try and satisfy as much as wants as you can? That is what economics is about. It's a subject that studies human behavior. So we call it a social science. It does that. Then we talked about now the two branches of economics. What were the two branches? The first was microeconomics, where you focused on a small part of the economy. You focused on, let's say, one product, one good, one firm, one individual. That's a small part of an economy. Then what was macroeconomics, where you focused on the entire economy. Like, for example, inflation of Sri Lanka, exchange rate of Sri Lanka, where you talk about the entire country. That is what you call macroeconomics. Then after that was done, Lamai, last class I also spoke to you about positive and normative statements. I told you that positive statements are fact-based. They are facts. You can prove whether they are right or wrong. It might be right, it might be wrong, but you can prove and see, you can test, you can verify and see. Those were called positive statements. It's about what has happened, what will happen. It's a fact. Then what is a normative statement? A normative statement is like an opinion, Lama. It's opinion based, value judgments. What people think should happen. I am saying we should do this. You're saying no, we should do this. There is no right or wrong. You can't verify you can't say this one is right, this one is wrong. Never. They're debatable. Like one person is saying, based on my opinion, we should do this. Other one is saying, no, we should not do this, or we should do something else. That is what you call normative statement. That's what we learned in the first class. Then today, I taught you the basics of needs and wants. I told you needs are essential for survival. Wants are different ways of satisfying those needs. We talked about that. We talked about the differences between needs and wants. We know this. I'm not going to recap. Then we went to our big concept for today. That is what? That is scarcity. I told you scarcity is what? The limitedness of resources compared to your unlimited wants. People have unlimited wants, but the resources are limited. So as a result, that gives rise to something called scarcity. Then I told you scarcity doesn't mean that we don't have resources. We have. Compared to wants, it is limited. The two conditions for scarcity is what? Unlimited wants, limited. That is only giving rise to scarcity. Then we said a shortage is not scarcity. And then I told you scarcity can't be solved. You might be the richest person. You might be using your resources very economically, economizing, doing all of it. But you can't solve scarcity. Scarcity is a central problem of economics. Then I told you these scarce resources have alternative uses. You can do so many multiple things with these. And you can't do everything, Namin. So you can't do everything that you can do. You have to choose. That leads to make a choice. So when you choice, Lamai, you make a trade-off there, right? Trade-off means you have to select. When you select one thing, you sacrifice the other. And when you choose, that leads to what? That leads to something called an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the benefit foregone from the next best alternative. From your next best alternative, what is the benefit that you forego? Then I told you, Lama, opportunity cost doesn't have to always be money. It could be money. It could be something else. It's a real concept. It's not purely a financial concept. And it differs from person to person. And finally, I told you all this. Situations where opportunity cost can be zero. There are three situations. One is when your resources are unlimited, like sunlight. Then there is no opportunity cost. Two is when you have no alternative uses, like a ship anchor, maybe something like even a bridge, right? Oops. Right? Even something like a bridge. Bridges don't have alternative uses. The only use of a bridge is this. Maybe, yes, someone has asked me pen and pencil. Yes, you can say. There are no alternative uses for a pen or pencil, right? The only use of a pencil is to write. So you can give, yes. Right? So maybe something like a bridge. Okay. No alternative use. The only use is for people to travel. Then there is no opportunity cost. The final one is when you have unemployed resources, when the resources were not being employed before, when they were not being used before, and just because you take it now and use it, there is no opportunity cost. So that is all that we have learned so far. The first classes recording, I have put it on YouTube. I will send the link again if you want. If not, Lamai, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can get it. This is the YouTube channel. You watch so much of nonsense. Go to ITU-SL. You will see it, Lamai. Yeah, ITU-SL. You will see. So first month, since the classes are free, I will put it on YouTube. After that, Lamai, it will be a paid class and then it won't be on YouTube. The first month, since it's free, it will be on YouTube as well, but try to make it to the live class instead of watching the record. So if you go to playlist, Lamai, you can see a playlist saying 2027 economics. We only did one class now. So last class's recording is there. Now today's class, maybe by tomorrow or day after, I will add it onto the website. Tudes Lamai, there is a form to fill. If you have filled that form for month of May, you can get the free set of tudes. You can drop me a text on WhatsApp. I will send you the details. Okay. Done. Shall we get into a few past papers then? We'll try and see if you all were there. Graphic designing, I do a bit of graphic design. Not that I'm a professional one, but I do a little bit. Okay. I'll reply to your message, Lama. I just get so much of messages. I'll somehow clear it. I was just on trip in the last few days, so couldn't get that done. Okay. Right. Let's, after me, Lama, I'll send you all details how to continue. Okay. Let's try out a few past papers and we'll see if you have understood what we did today. We'll come into okay, what about this, Lamai? 2012 A levels, question number 1. Okay, now, due to scarcity, what should happen? Every society must undertake central planning. Due to scarcity, the government must decide how to allocate resources. Due to scarcity, some members live in poverty. Due to scarcity, every society must choose among competing users. Competing means alternative. Due to scarcity, every society must choose among competing users of your available resources. And last one, due to scarcity, resource availability exceeds the possible users for the available resources. Which one do you think? It's a little bit of a tricky one, not that tricky though, but which one do you think? Right or wrong, Lama, give me an answer. As long as you've not fallen asleep, give me an answer. It's okay. These are hard questions. I mean, these are actually A-level questions. You get it wrong, that's okay. That's fine. Which one? So far from the answers I've got, around 60 to 70% of you all are correct. The others are wrong. What do you all think? Because of scarcity, what should we do? Try to picture that flow chart I showed you. Scarcity plus something leads to something. You know, it's around that. Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Others, I have close to around 110 answers. There is another 20, 30 people who have not given me an answer. Am I right or wrong? Give an answer. Take your phone. If you're on your phone, take and type. That's okay. Don't be, I'm not going to judge you, Lama. I'm not going to think, this fellow told this stupid fellow. I don't even remember your name, Lama. It just goes up, 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 up. So don't worry. Don't worry about me judging you. Don't worry about being wrong. The more you get it wrong, the more you will remember it. Which one? Okay. I think only around 60% of you all got it right. So the correct answer, Lama, is number 4. Okay. I'll tell you why the others are wrong. Most of you all also told me number 5. So, right, number 5 is wrong. Number 5 is saying resource availability exceeds the possible users. That means, now, for example, let's say you have land, you have more land than the users of land. Other way around, the possible users exceeded the resource availability. No? Now, you, in my example of Anura giving you a land, you have one land and so many users. So you can't say that the resource availability exceeds the users. No, it's the other way. The users exceed the availability. There are so many users, but you have only one available land. So that's the other way around. That is 5 is completely wrong if you misread. Then some of you all told me some other answers. Number 1 is every site must take central planning. Central planning, we'll learn what central planning is later in the unit, but there is nothing like that. I never told you. Right? Those are the other answers. I think very less people gave 2 and 3. Those are also not your answers. So your answer is Lamai, because of scarcity, every society must choose. They must make a choice among what? Among their alternative uses. So because of scarcity, you have to make a choice of which alternative use that you're going to do. And that is what the 4th answer is talking about. Because of scarcity, you have to make a choice of which alternative use are you going to do, because you can't do everything that you want to do. Right. 2012. That was a bit of a difficult one. Then, it's an easy one. Okay, what about this line? Okay. You can write in pen, pencil, you can do anything like that. That's your tute. 2014, question 1. Economics is the study of what? Think which one is the most appropriate word. Scarcity of resources and full employment, scarcity of resources and production, scarcity of resources and choice, scarcity of resources and efficiency, scarcity of resources and substitutability. Think of which word that I have been using. We've been talking about because your resources are scarce, you have to do this. What have I been talking about? Right. This one, around 90% of you are getting it right. A few people are getting it wrong. It's about what? What's the word that I have been talking about so many times? It's about how your resources are scarce. And come on, that's an easy one. Some of you are giving me answers that I haven't even spoke about today. I haven't even mentioned that word in the tube. Don't give me absurd answers. It's about what? Okay, around 5 more people to give me an answer. Others, good. Right or wrong, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, I think almost all apart from around 2 people have given me answers. Good. So which one is your answer, Lamai? Your answer is number 3. It's about how your resources are scarce, and as a result, how you have to make a choice. No, you can't do everything, Nilaman. Your resources are scarce. It has alternative uses. Therefore, you have to make a choice. I didn't talk about anything called full employment, production, efficiency, substitutability, nothing like that. No? This is what we talked about. So answer is number 3. Most of y'all got that correct. Good. What about this? Number 2. Opportunity cost in economics is defined as, what is opportunity cost? The other opportunities sacrificed to obtain something, the financial cost of obtaining something, the cost of time of obtaining something, the total fixed and variable cost of obtaining something, the value of the best alternative. Best alternative means your next best alternative sacrificed for obtaining something. Which one is opportunity cost? Okay. Again, most of you are correct. Others, which one? Which one is opportunity cost? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer, Lamai, is number 5. It's your best alternative, right? Best kiane, your next best option, not number 1. Most of y'all, some of y'all told me number 1. Opportunity cost is not all the other opportunities sacrificed. Now you can't say, your opportunity cost of building a hotel is this and this and this and this. It's not everything. It's only your best option. What is your next best alternative? That is only opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is not everything. I told you, my opportunity cost is not sleep and movie and okkamane. It's only the next best thing. So that is what answer number 5 is about. First one is like trade-off. Yes, correct. First one is similar to a trade-off. Okay, good. Then, okay, we'll do one more. Okay, that one we can do later. What about 2016? Question number one. The concept of scarcity in economics refers to a condition where they're asking what is scarcity. It's a condition where society is not utilizing all of its resources efficiently. It's a condition where people's wants can never be satisfied with available resources. It's a condition where some people have to live in poverty. It's a condition where too many frivolous means unwanted, right? Too many frivolous goods and services are produced at the expense of social desirability. So instead of producing what society wants, you're producing unwanted goods. That's what the fourth one is saying. And the last one is production is efficient, but distribution is inefficient. What is scarcity? Answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem that I have is some people give me so weird answers that I have never even thought about. Like, if you are listening in class, you can get the answer. These are not hard ones. Some of you are giving me answers. I have never even told you something like. If I have not told you something like that is not the answer. Have that in mind as well. Which one is your answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first, Lamai, how do you do MCQs? Cut the wrong ones. No, can't be this, can't be this. And then limit your answers and get the right one, Lamai. What is scarcity? Answer is number 2. Scarcity is where your wants are unlimited and your resources are limited. So you can't satisfy your unlimited wants with your limited resources. That is what scarcity is about. No? So can you say, some of you all told me 4 and 5. Now, what is 4? 4 is saying too many frivolous goods are produced at the expense of. So did I tell you anything about that? Did I say something like that you're producing unwanted goods? That is what scarcity is. Nothing like that, right? How did you come up with 4? Just because it's the longer one, that doesn't mean the answer, Lama. Then some of you all told me number 5. Did I say anywhere that production is efficient, distribution is inefficient? I never mentioned anything like that. So don't come up with Lama weird answers. It's a very direct answer that you can say about. Yeah, so that's correct, Lama. Can never be. People's wants can never be satisfied by the availability. So you can't satisfy all because your wants are unlimited. You can satisfy some of it, but you can't satisfy all of it. That is your most correct answer that you have. Okay. So we did 4 MCQs. How did you all do? At least 2 out of 4. You got all correct, perfect. But minimum, I would say 2 is your limit. Otherwise, you have not been listening. These are A-level papers. These are hard questions. These are questions that you will do after 2.5 years in your actual A-level exam. So if you can even get half of it right now by listening for 2 hours, that means you're already at a very good level. If you got one or maybe nothing of it correct, then you have not been listening in these 2 hours. You have been daydreaming, maybe playing with your phone, no, doing something like that. Okay. 4 is frivolous goods mean producing unwanted goods. That is what they say. That is not what scarcity is. Right. Good. Okay. So with that, Lama, we'll go to the final part of today's class. So far, nice. The quiz. So quiz similar to what we had last time, but what I did is, since Lamai, my platform can get only around 40 or 50 people live, what I did was, third question will come that I don't think we can do it right now. Okay. So what I did is, Lamai, I broke the quiz into 2. Right. So both the quizzes have 6 questions each. So I will start the first quiz. I want all of you all to join. Whoever are not able to join the first quiz, you can then join the second quiz. Right? So that should be able to accommodate all of you all in. Right? So I will start with the first one. Try to join. If you can't join the first one, Lamai, the ones who are not able to log into this thing, send answers on the chat box. Then you don't have to do both, Lamai. If you played the first quiz, for the second quiz, you send answers on the chat box. And what you do is give a chance for someone else. Please don't log in for both. If you get in the first one, second one, you send on the chat box. If you didn't get into the first one, try and get into the second one. Okay. Now, so let me share my screen. Give me a second. Down. This is loading. So until that, you can quickly go through your tute if you want to. Okay. Sharing my screen. So I'm guessing, Lama, you can see a screen. Let me send you the instructions to join for the ones who are joining for the very first time. What you need to do is, Lama, you need to go to this website called www.kahoot.it. Go to the website. The website will ask you for a game pin. You can enter the pin that is there on this screen that I am sharing. I will copy and send the link also on the chat box. Give me a second. Right, so you can use your phone, laptop, any device, even the device that you're on Zoom right now, you can use that. Okay. So what you need to do is go to this website, www.kahoot.it. They'll ask you for a game pin. Enter the pin that is 141492. And then enter your name and you can join. Then your name will be there on the screen. So I think the participant limit is around 50 for one quiz. So try to join. Right, okay, 50 is reached. So I will start this quiz. The ones who could not join, I have another quiz for you after this. Please join that. The ones who are in this quiz, please don't join the second one. Yes, we'll give everyone a chance to play. So the quiz is it's an MCQ based one for the people who are joining for the first time. The faster you answer, the more points that you get. There are only 6 questions. Last time we had 10 because I split it into 2. I'm only having 6 this time. So I'm starting. Oops, give me a second. Okay. Question number 1. The problem of scarcity exists only in market economies, exists only in developing economies, exists because prices of goods and services are high, exists because of limited resources. Which one is correct? The ones who are not in the quiz, you can send the answer on the chat box. Send me the color. Red, blue, yellow, green. Okay, nice. It's answer green. Wow, 48 of you all got it right. Perfect. Going to the next one. Okay, I think everyone in the chat box also got it right. Okay, so this is the leaderboard for now. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Huh? So you might get all 6 out of 6 correct. You might still not be the winner because you might not be the fastest. The next one. Question 2. Scarcity of resources and alternative uses of resources gives rise to the problem of what? Opportunity cost, choice, unlimited wants, inefficient usage of resources. Because of scarcity and alternative uses, what does it lead to? Remember that flow chart. Scarcity plus this leads to what? Gives rise to what? Scarcity plus alternative uses gives rise to choice, not opportunity cost. Half of you all got that wrong. Remember, scarcity plus alternative uses gives rise to choice, not to opportunity cost. So answer is blue. Okay, only 21 of you all got that right. Okay, let's see if the leaderboard has changed. Okay, leaderboard has changed. So yeah, Yenuko on top, Ajmal, Vinudini, Hey, and Matthew. Okay, I'm not very sure who Hey is. Okay. The next one. A country decides to produce more smartphones and fewer televisions. What is the opportunity cost of this? Opportunity cost, what they are sacrificing. The production of smartphones, the cost of producing television, the revenue generated from selling smartphones, the potential output of televisions given out. So a country decided to produce more smartphones and less TVs. So what are they sacrificing, Lamai? That is what you call opportunity cost. What are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing TVs, right? It's not the cost of producing TVs, it's the amount of TVs that you would have produced. So answer is the green one. Okay, again, only 11 of you all got that right. It's not about how fast you answer, but I try to answer it correctly also. Sometimes you jump too much without thinking. But it's a little hard because you only have 30 seconds. For A levels now, you'll have 4 times the time of this. You'll have around 2 minutes for MCQ. Okay, next one. Which of the following is a microeconomic decision? We learned it last class. Government's fiscal policy, an individual saving rate, the country's GDP growth rate, money supply of economy. What is microeconomic? Talking about a small part of the economy. That's not a hard one. Which one? Which one? Which one? Which one? Which one? Which one? 2 seconds. Ah, nice. Most of you all got that right. Individual saving rate, right? 1%. That is microeconomics. Okay, 2 more questions to go. Okay, leaderboard hasn't changed much. Very competitive. Next one. Which of the following is a positive statement? Which one? People should exercise regularly to stay healthy. Unemployment rate is 5% in a country. Government should impose minimum wages. Setting a proportional tax is unfair for the low-income population. What is the positive statement out of this? That means 3 of those are normative. They are value judgments. One is not. Which one? The blue one, right? Unemployment rate is 5%. That it could be 5%, it could be not. We can test and see. But everything else there is a normative statement. They are value judgments. Okay. Good. Now we come to the very small changes in the leaderboard. Okay, we come to the last one. Last one will most likely be double the points, so the leaderboard can massively change. Okay, question 6, double the points. Which of the following is a normative macroeconomic statement? It has to be normative and macroeconomic. Which one? Demand for milk powder has increased despite the rise in prices. The government should take action to reduce unemployment. The country's debt level grew by 10%. Steps should be taken to reduce production and consumption of alcohol. It has to be normative also. It has to be macroeconomic also. Oh, wow. I didn't expect most of you all to get that right. So the answer is the blue one, right? So government should take action, should normative, reduce unemployment. Unemployment means the overall country's unemployment. So that's normative and macro. The other ones are not lamai. Now, for example, red one is milk powder. Milk powder is not macro, micro, one product. Green one says alcohol. Alcohol is just one product. Again, micro. Then the yellow one says a country's debt grew by 10%. That is a positive statement. There is no argument there. It could be correct. It could be wrong. There is no opinion. Good. Right. So the ones on chat box, you can see how much did you get out of 6, because you might not get your score here. You can definitely join the next one. Right. Let's look at the leaderboard from this quiz. Whom do we have? Okay, with 5821. Okay, so we have Senate on top. Third, 5873. We have Matthew, and who is on top? 6,281 points. Wow, we are going to go. I think it's the first time ever, I think, we have 3 boys on top. Very, 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 very rare. Right. So all of you all are also there. Good. Let me get a screenshot of this and keep. I think it's the very first time in my, I think I've been teaching for the last 5-6 years. I think this is the very, very first time that I got 3 boys on 120. I hope you have not given fake names. Nice. Very impressive. Nice to see the boys in the game. I guess you have Hay and, I'm not sure who Hay is, but yeah, you have Hay and Joel. Okay, that's another guy, I guess. Wow, amazing. Okay, let me save this one. Okay, so we'll get into quiz number 2 then, right? So quiz number 2, that is for the ones who were not able to get into this. You all can play quiz number 2. Hold on. Let me close this. Okay. Give me a second until I load it. Okay. This is loading. Okay. Process to join is the same level. So the ones who joined the first one, please don't join the second one. First, give a chance to the others. The others, you can send the answer on the chat box. Please stay in class. Class is not over. You can learn from this. The pin is 4514419. Okay, so the ones who couldn't join before, you can join. What you need to do is you need to go to the website www.kahoot.it. They'll ask you for a game pin. Enter the game pin 4514419. enter your name and you can join. Right, there's already 40 people. I think there's space for 50. In case you aren't able to join both, maybe we can try the next time. You can still send answers on the chat box. Okay, there's room for one more person. Okay, now it's 50. Okay, so we'll start. In case you couldn't join the live, please send answers on the chat box. And then the objective is not to join this one. The objective is to learn something. Let's start. Question 1. The concept of scarcity in economics refers to a condition where what? Society is not using resources in efficient manner. Resources are limited compared to unlimited wants. There are unlimited resources satisfy human wants. Production is efficient. Distribution is inefficient. This is the same past paper that we did learn. Which one? Answer is the blue one. Good. After doing it in the past paper, someone went and gave the green one. Set. Okay. Leaderboard for now. The next one then. Question 2. When a country chooses to invest more in education rather than military spending, the opportunity cost is what? The benefit gained from increased education, the cost of military spending, the improvement in national security, the potential benefit lost from reduced military spending. What is your opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is what you sacrifice. Okay. The green one. Nice. Okay, leaderboard has changed. Coming to the next. Okay. Which statement best describes the relationship between scarcity and choice? Scarcity gives rise to choice as resources are limited. Choice eliminates scarcity by providing unlimited resources. Scarcity forces people to make choices due to unlimited resources. Choice is unrelated to scarcity in economic context. Which one? The red one, no? Scarcity gives rise to choice as resources are limited. Good. Okay, leaderboard changed a bit. Next. Which of the following is a positive statement? The government should reduce taxes and boost growth. Inflation is expected to increase by 2% in the next quarter. College education should be accessible and affordable for all. The use of fossil fuels should be banned to reduce climate change. Which one is the positive statement? Oh, the blue one, no? You could easily would have figured out because all the other answers have should. Normative. Small changes. Next one. Which of the following is a normative statement? Which one? Inflation rate of Sri Lanka is 5.3%. There is an inverse relationship between money supply and interest rate. Every citizen should be given free medical facilities. There is a massive decline in import expenditure of the country. This example was there in your tute as well. Which one is the normative? Nice. The yellow. Almost all of y'all got that correct. Not changed much. The last question, double the points. Which of the following is a positive microeconomic statement? Positive and micro. The country's GDP grew by 3.5% last year. Central bank should lower interest rate to stimulate investment. The government should provide subsidies to the industry for expansion. The firm's output increased by 20% after implementing efficiency measures. Positive, micro. The green one. No? So a firm's output, firm is one firm, micro. They say it increased by 20% after implementing this thing. There is no opinion there. It might be right, it might be wrong. You can verify and you can see. The ones on the chat box, how did you all do out of 6? Most of you all gave me answers. Good. Right. So the green one is your correct one. We'll go into the leaderboard. I hope all of you all got a chance to play, the ones who tried to log in. Very sorry if you were not able to. Okay. Okay. Let's get into the leaderboard, the podium. Okay. So with 5760. Okay, we have Muzaina on third. Okay, we have Asmara on second. And whom do we have on first? Asma on first. I'm not very sure. Well, Okay, so we have Fatra and Nada on 4th and 5th. Good. So congratulations, Lai. I think you'll have done pretty well, especially whether you were in the quiz or not in the quiz. So good job. So far we have only done 2 classes. I'm hoping you all are on track. Uh, yes, this time is all 3 girls. Usually having all 3 girls is a very common thing in class. It's very hard to get the boys in the quiz. So last, I think, this is very common. 3 girls being on the top three, 3 boys being on the top three is a very, very uncommon thing. Right, so finishing off, since we are a little off time as well. Good job so far, Lamai. Keep the same momentum going. We have done 2 classes. I will add this classes recording as well. I will send the tute that I made notes of. So in case if you don't have the printed tute, you can refer to that for now. Your printed tute will come soon if you have filled the form. Please answer the call and collect the tute. See you. If there's anything, drop me a text. See you all. Bye-bye.